So, Curt, it's a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure to meet
I've seen
you,
your
sir.
videos for a long time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
It's really
that.
good to connect here with you at SlikRok.
Yeah, it's a great event here.
You know, I've always been impressed by the way you carry yourself on land use issues. And what did you tell us about what has happened in Moab and what you see the future of what we've got coming in front of us?
Moab is a peculiar divide, and I honestly, there's a lot of pieces of it I don't think are as bad as some of the hyperbole makes it out to be.
Okay.
We've spent a lot of time in Moab, and we get welcomed in by the businesses and the folks down there. We support a lot of businesses down there, and Moab works off of revenue. And so the tourist industry is very important to them down there. And what it really breaks down to, I believe, is the off-road rec users spend money. We come down, we utilize Airbnbs, we utilize hotels, restaurants, gas stations. They buy a lot of souvenirs. And I think that they spend a lot more money than a lot of the people who dry camp, and they don't utilize the town. So you've also got a lot of national parks down there that pull in a lot of people, and there's a lot of money invested into Moab. And my angering point with it is Moab is an off-road mecca. Anybody who thinks about Moab, they think of the same thing, and you and I can't move to Park City and then start boycotting skiers.
Right.
That's not how it works, And so it's always been an off-road mecca, and our responsibility is to be responsible, respect the land, and to leave it be the way it is, but also keep it open because we all want to utilize it, enjoy it, because we're all taxpayers and it's public land.
Yeah. What do you think SUA's role has been in driving this battle? Because a lot of people say that BLM has become the enemy.
I don't believe that's the case. I think the BLM is typically somewhat on our side. SUA obviously is not. But when it comes down to it, it's a power trip. And it's like I think that the more bad stuff goes out and the more it gets focused on, the worse it gets. People get hypersensitive. For example, if you were to buy a black F-150 truck, all of a sudden you notice a lot of black F-150 trucks.
Right.
It becomes on your radar.
Right.
And so when all this kind of started, it started out, if I remember correctly, as a noise ordinance. And they targeted side-by-sides. They didn't target the Harley rallies that go on. And on top of that, they live on a highway. A main highway.
Yeah.
There's semis coming through there every day, every hour, every minute. We didn't target that.
Yeah.
We kind of got targeted, I felt like. And then for some reason, we ended up in some separation between the Jeepers and the side-by-side guys.
Yeah.
And we're friends with everybody.
Yeah.
We go down. I come from the Jeep world too. And we like the Jeep world. I love the Jeep world. Anything you can do to be an outdoorsman, I'm all about.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a hiker, a biker, a motorcycler, a Jeeper, a side-by-side person. Whatever gets you to the outdoors, bless you for it. That's where it's about.
Do you think that some of these SUA followers, such as the mountain bikers, the equestrians, some of those, do you think they're going to have a wake-up call with some of these people?
Well, I think the thing they don't realize is we're all in the same boat together. And you can't restrict one without restricting all. And so when you get to this point, when you start talking about civil liberties and you start talking about land closure, trail closure, we're talking about across the board. And it's like they're messing with something, and you're poking a bear here. Because we're not going to allow, without a fight, any kind of a closure for us or them. And it's like, I support anybody's right to go hiking, to go mountain biking, as they should support our right as well. Just because we have different hobbies, we're enjoying the same land, which is public land.
Yeah.
And if you don't agree with motors, it's probably because you haven't done it. And it's like, I'm in the same boat. I don't like pedal biking because I'm old and I'm lazy, but that doesn't mean that I'm against them,
Yeah.
And it's when I see them out there, and we've come across people who are injured and hurt, we give them rides home, we give them water, we give them anything they need. We're all Americans, we're all friends, and we all enjoy the outdoors. And somehow this has become a battle that is absolute nonsense to me. It makes no sense,
It's better to make friends. And
Absolutely.
One thing I've noticed, we used to do a lot of trails down in San Bernardino National Forest, and the Pacific Crest Trail runs right through there and crosses our trails many, many times.
Right.
And we found the best thing we could do with those hikers that have been on a trail for 10 days was to carry an extra bag of apples or an extra bag of oranges.
Right. Help
and pass them out. They love that.
I'll tell you a real quick story. I came across a mountain biker. He was from Laos. about 3 years ago in Moab. I came around, he was hiding in the shade behind a rock. He's bleeding, his knees, his arms. I thought he was hurt. And I come over there and I ask him, like, you okay? Do you need some help? And he's like, I'm having the time of my life. He planned that trip for 7 years. He's in the middle of nowhere. There's buzzards circling him. And it's just like, we gave him water. We made sure he was going the right direction. But it's like, I was amazed when that guy's story and just seeing him there. This was a trip of a lifetime. This guy, trekked across a horrible plane ride to begin with, and he's out having the time of his life. And it's like, we're not enemies. And it's like, I don't want Sua making enemies out of us. I don't want to make enemies out of them. But we all have to understand we're all in the same fight. And when you start getting rid of civil liberties, you start shutting stuff down. It's so much easier to fight the fight to shut stuff down than to get it open back up. It's very slippery, right? And so it's like my appeal to this has always been manners, and it's like I understand that there is impact that comes into town. If you and I go to Cabo San Lucas to go have a good time, we're not thinking about that there's people that live there. It's a destination for us. And Moab's the same way. People travel this country to come wheel there, and they have to understand that that is a town. There's residents there. There's school zones there. Be cool in town. But I would expect that from anybody, no matter what you drive. Obey the laws. Don't speed. Don't drink and drive. Don't throw trash out of your car. Treat it as if it's your own backyard because it belongs to all of us, and we want to keep it that way.
Very good. Well, I share agreement with everything you said today, and I'm glad to be on your side in this.
I will fight any fight with you, sir.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
You bet.